Okay, we are now live and streaming. We are on the record for Thursday. No, let's not go back to Tuesday. Let's be glad tomorrow's Friday. Thursday morning's criminal docket, September 9th, 2021. Attorney Jorge Munoz.
Good morning, Judge. I have number 9 in the court's docket, CR 19-15886-I. AB Rodriguez, he's present on the Zoom. Judge, we're setting suppression this morning, Judge. We're announcing ready.
Okay. And are you still wanting an in-person suppression, sir?
Yes, that's correct, Judge.
Okay. Mr. AB Rodriguez, can you please announce yourself?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here present.
Okay, sir. Mr. Rodriguez, do you have an alcohol monitoring device?
No, I do not, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Munoz, because of my current situation with respect to my courtroom and not able to hold in person, I'm going to ask that you file an order resetting hearing, indicate that you want an in-person, and we'll get you reset, sir.
Yes, Judge, we'll do.
Okay. Anything else for this?
Not on this defendant, Judge. May he be excused, Judge?
Yes, he certainly may.
Judge, I also have number 10 in the court's docket, CR 20-07568-I, Victor Tostado. He's also present in the courtroom, Judge, or in the Zoom. Same announcement on this case, Judge. We're set for suppression this morning, Judge. We are seeking an in-person hearing as well.
Okay, Mr. Victor Tostado, please announce yourself. Just click the microphone at the bottom of your screen, sir. I do see you.
Sí.
Okay.
Español.
Spanish speaker, Judge.
Ms. Castañeda, ask Mr. Tostado if he has an alcohol monitoring device.
Nuestro Tostado, ¿tiene usted un dispositivo de alcohol?
Ahorita no.
Okay. And so it'll be the same announcement from the court, Mr. Munoz. Just file your order resetting hearing for an in-person.
Will do, Judge. May he be excused, Judge?
He certainly may. Ms. Castañeda, please let him know that he's excused.
Judge, I do have one last
Nuestro
case.
Tostado se puede retirar.
Okay, go ahead.
Judge, I have one last case, Judge. This is actually, I don't know if the court will hear it. It's actually set as a plea on the afternoon docket. It is an ADR where we submitted documentation to the DA's office. They're set to verify it, Judge. And if they verify it, I understand they're going to submit a dismissal administratively. And so I'm asking the court if we can remove it from the plea docket and just give me a status date, Judge.
Okay, I'm not taking any announcements for the afternoon docket, Mr. Munoz. So
Okay. No,
if you can just come back in the afternoon, I'll take your announcement at that time.
okay, not a problem.
Okay,
That's all I have this morning, Judge. Can I be excused?
you certainly may.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Arredondo?
Yes, good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Your Honor. We're here on number 29 and 30 on your docket, Judge Jose Vicente Garza, and he is present on Zoom.
Number 20, 29 and 30?
Correct.
Okay, that's CR 19-01563-I, CR 20-10191-I, State of Texas versus Jose Vicente Garza. Okay, and Mr. Arredondo, do you know if you all have filed your notice of appearance on those two cases?
Just we have not, Your Honor. Mr. Vicente Garza had just retained us to remove a warrant for him. He did contact our office. They just spoke to Mr. Terry Palacios. I believe we are going to be representing. We are going to be representing him on this case, Judge. So this afternoon we'll go ahead and file the notice of appearance.
Okay. Have you had an opportunity to familiarize yourself with the case then?
Minor, Judge, minor. But this time we just need a recommendation, Judge, on the record, and we can request all the discovery and get moving on this case, Judge.
Okay, Jose Vicente Garza, are you present?
Yes, I am, Judge.
Okay. So I'll give you an opportunity to file your appropriate motions and get the discovery so that you can review it with your client and also file your notice of appearance. Do you know how much time are you requesting so that you can give me a good status on him?
About 45 days, Judge. We'll go ahead and file the appearance this afternoon, Judge. And as soon as we get the discovery, I'll talk to the state about a recommendation.
Okay, just email the state asking them that you want a recommendation. That's how they're keeping track of the attorneys that need recs, and then they'll email you back, okay?
We'll do that.
All right, come back. I need for you all to come back on November the 2nd at 9:30.
November the 2nd at 9:30. Okay, Judge.
Yes, Mr. Garza, November 2nd at 9:30. You will not receive any further notice. If you do not show up, sir, there will be a warrant for your arrest that'll be issued.
Thank you, Judge. I understand.
Okay, we'll see you then, sir.
Thank you, Miss. Thank you, Judge.
And that's all I have for today, Judge. May I be excused?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Judge. Have yourself a great day.
Likewise, Attorney Edna Cedillo.
Thank you.
Hi, Judge. Good morning. I'm here on number 44 would be the quickest one, Andrea Rodriguez. And she is on screen. I saw her.
Okay, I did see Ms. Rodriguez come in. Ms. Rodriguez, can you please announce yourself?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, and that is CR 20-06870-I. And what is your announcement?
And I believe on this one, we were just pending some fees. The state had announced at the last hearing that they would be dismissing provided those fees were paid. I know that this morning I received a fee request for $100 on the PTD that was still owed. So I'm just pending. I don't know, I doubt Ms. Rodriguez has taken care of that. We did follow up with her yesterday and that hadn't been paid yet.
Okay, when did you receive the fee request?
The fee request was this morning, Judge.
Oh, okay, so yeah, she wouldn't have had time to do that.
Right.
Ms.
And I believe-
Rodriguez, I'm sorry, how
Yes.
much time do you need, ma'am, to pay that final payment?
I can pay it today.
Okay, so Mr. Wind, is this going to be dismissed administratively once she pays that $100?
Yes, Judge, it will be, yes, Judge.
Okay, so she's gonna get that paid hopefully today, Ms. Cedillo. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna set a tickler to see
Yes,
that if they have filed the dismissal, and I'll set the tickler for October 1st, giving the state plenty of time to file that dismissal. So that tickler will be just for me.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And then Mr. Rodriguez, get that paid, and then best of luck to you, ma'am.
Yes, thank you. May I be excused?
Yes, you may.
Thank you.
Ms. Cedillo, do you have another case?
Yes, Your Honor. I have number 12 on the court's docket. Ray Asadua, I believe he appears as Ray's iPhone.
CR 20-03251-I, State of Texas versus Ray Ansaldua. Mr. Ansaldua, will you please announce yourself?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, and what is your announcement, counselor?
Your Honor, on this one, we were here, I believe it was last week. My client was having trouble with the login, but additionally, he had been ordered to pay Mujeres Unidas. I have tendered that receipt to both the state and probation judge. And so it was a status to follow up on that.
Okay, so he did pay the donation.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Soto, do we have a report on Mr. Ansaldua as to how he's doing now within that week?
Judge, no violations, Judge. He's doing well.
Okay. Keep it up, Mr. Ansaldua.
Thank you.
Okay, so how much time do you need, Ms. Cedillo, for him?
Your Honor, we're still working with the state. I believe that maybe 2 weeks, Judge, or 3 weeks, we should be able to get him on some sort of PTD program.
Okay, the earliest I have is October 28th.
That would be fine, Your Honor.
Okay. So is he PTD eligible, Mr. Wind?
He is, Judge.
Okay. So if you can just have that application in before that date, because they're taking about 60 days or so to review it. And that way, maybe you can hear something before the end of the year.
Yes, Judge. I'll follow up with my client. I believe the only pending issue was his license, but I'll follow up with him and get that submitted, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Ansaldua, were you the one that was making an appointment with DPS?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, were you able to secure the appointment yet?
Whenever I went, they told me I had to do that SR 22, and I did it. And whenever I go back home, because I'm at work,
Okay, that's right.
I'll go make sure and take it out.
Okay, when do you think that you're going to be coming back into the valley?
Like in a week or less.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure that we give you a realistic time frame from the time you get here to at least make some progress. So if you can apply before then, if not, I understand why he hasn't applied. It's not because he doesn't want to, it's just because of this situation. So let's see where we're at on October the 28th at 9:30.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll see you then, Mr. Anzaldúa.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Your Honor, I have no other pending matters before this honorable court. May I be excused?
You certainly may, Mr. Anzaldúa. You may be excused as well, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, Attorney Richard Gonzalez.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Judge, I have number 1 on today's docket.
CR 1914382-I, State of Texas versus Jose Manuel Gomez. Is Mr. Gomez present?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and Mr. Wind,
Judge, we're asking for a continuance on that one.
hold on. Somebody's. Okay, go ahead.
Judge, we're asking for a continuance on this one because we just barely was able to serve subpoena the victim yesterday. So we could ask for a 2-week reset so we could have the subpoena served to the victim.
So was the subpoena already served?
No, it was set yesterday. It was like set to be subpoena.
Were you aware of those?
Okay.
Just warned me
Hold on.
yesterday.
I'm getting some feedback from somebody, so
He has been admonished before, Judge.
I don't know. Richard, you're on another case and another court.
Yeah, I just moved my other phone away.
All right. Okay, look, let's go back on the timeline because this isn't the first time that we've been here on this issue with respect to not being able to find the alleged victim. I want to know, what date did that subpoena get issued originally?
It was set out yesterday to be subpoenaed yesterday, Judge.
So that subpoena was just sent out yesterday.
Yes, Judge.
And Your Honor, if I may, Judge, the setting that we had prior to today, it's been over, I believe it's probably been over 30 days, Your Honor. This is probably like the 3rd setting that we've been here. I don't believe there's been any contact with the alleged victim, Your Honor. And for this, we're set for a bench trial today. For the subpoena to have been sent out the day before, I mean, I would object, Your Honor, to any continuance by the state, Your Honor. We're present, we're ready. And if the state does not have a cooperating witness, Your Honor, then, you know, I don't know what the court wants to do at this point.
Okay, refresh my memory. When was the previous setting for this case? What was the last date?
August the 17th, Your Honor.
Okay. So I believe at that time when I had requested from the state, I asked how much time would you all need to get that subpoena out? Then I gave you today's date, and the announcement from the state was that that was sufficient time to get that subpoena out. So for the subpoena to be sent out just yesterday for a bench trial today, it's unacceptable because prior to that, I believe we had 2 other hearings on this. So just for the record, can I get what other dates did we have prior to this?
They were set for status, Judge, and it was April the 13th, the June the 22nd, and August the 17th is the date that the bench trial was given.
Okay. The court is going to deny the state's motion for continuance. Mr. Gonzalez, what are you asking for at this time?
We would be asking, Your Honor, that the case be dismissed, Your Honor, for lack of a witness to testify.
Okay. Any response from the state?
Judge, we'll be opposed to it, but we'll leave it to discretion, Judge.
Okay. Your objection is noted on the record, and I'm granting the defendant's request to dismiss this case. So this case is dismissed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Both you and your client are excused.
Thank you, Judge. You have a great rest of the day.
Likewise. Attorney Sergio Sanchez.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir.
Judge, I believe it's number 43 on the docket. Juan Reyes.
Okay. CR 21-02705-I, State of Texas versus Juan Reyes. Is Mr. Reyes present?
Judge, we just confirmed with him that he's unable to log on. He's at work. I'll let the court, of course, make your ruling on that, but I was just going to request additional time as he's got a 3rd-degree evading arrest felony that's pending. I'm not aware if he's been indicted on that or not. It might not even be the main issue because he's not logged on, but I just needed to advise the court. It was gonna be my request for additional time. That's all I got, Judge.
Okay, well, he already has an ISI that was granted against him, I believe at the last hearing, so I'll go ahead and set him for another status. Is that felony still at intake, Mr. Wind? What is the
Yes.
state showing?
Yes, Judge, it's still at intake, Judge.
Okay. Let me go ahead and set you out then. I'll go ahead and set you out for November the 30th. And you need to be present in order to have that NICI recalled, sir,
November 30th. Yes, ma'am.
at
And
9:30.
yes,
Okay, do you have any other case?
no, that's all I have, Judge, and I'll make sure to let him know he's in the world of a double warrant. He's got almost two nice sides, if it's possible.
Okay.
But Judge, I mean, all kidding aside, Judge, I will stress the importance of this. I think this should be considered on the felony plea. That should be a deferred, and I expect a dismissal request to cross your desk soon. And I know he's not playing games with the court. He really is at work. I anticipate this to be resolved quickly.
Okay. Well, then we'll just see what happens between now and November the 30th.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you, Judge.
Okay, thank you. Attorney Jaime Cavazos?
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm here, number 49 on your criminal docket, Judge.
Okay. CR 20-00877-I, State of Texas versus Mayra Vargas. Is Ms. Vargas present?
Judge, I believe she is. She's Galaxy 810.
Yes, I'm present.
Okay. And what is your announcement, Counselor?
Judge, we're here on a motion to a motion to withdraw.
Okay. Ms. Vargas, have you had an opportunity to review that motion?
Yes, I have.
Okay. And so, Mr. Cavazos, I'm going to grant your motion to withdraw. Were you appointed or retained?
Appointed, Your Honor.
Ms. Vargas, are you asking for another attorney to be appointed to you?
Yes, ma'am. I wouldn't want to retain anyone.
Okay, well, it's not whether you want to or not, it's whether you can afford to or not. So at the time that they assessed you for came to the conclusion that you were indigent, are you still in that same financial situation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, next on the wheel. Ms. Rivera, who do we have next on the wheel, please?
Ms. Melinda Diaz, Judge.
Okay. Your new attorney is Melinda Diaz?
I'm sorry.
Your new
I apologize.
attorney is Melinda Diaz?
Melinda
And she
Diaz.
will contact you as soon as we send her all the information.
Thank you so much, Judge.
Okay, hold up. We were dealing with some violations the last time. Ms. Soto, do we have an update report on Ms. Vargas?
Judge, she did obtain her mobile device with a Smart Start on September the 7th, and from that date till now, no violations, Judge.
Okay. Okay, Ms. Vargas, continue with 0 violations.
Sorry.
And we're going to give your attorney approximately 30 days or so to become familiar with you and your case. I'm gonna have you come back on October the 28th at 9:30. We will let your new attorney know. At that time, we will also run another report to see if you have any violations, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Ms.
Yes,
Soto,
ma'am.
do
Who am I
you
speaking
have,
to, please?
hold on,
Yes, please.
Okay.
I'm not sure where that,
It's Mr. Capello, Your Honor.
oh. Okay, so, Ms. Soto, do we have a phone number for Ms. Vargas on file already?
I do, Judge, yes.
Okay. All right, then, Mr. Cavazos, being nothing further on this case, you and Ms. Vargas are excused unless you have another matter.
Judge, I also have number 5.
Okay,
Standing in for Attorney Christopher Cavazos.
okay. Ms. Vargas, you are excused.
Thank you, Judge. You have a great day.
What a proud moment, no, Mr. Cavazos, to be able to say like that you're practicing law with your son?
Oh, very proud moment.
That's cool.
I
CR one, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I'm hoping to get to the point where I don't have to wash his car anymore. I said, okay, boss, whatever you want.
CR 1912078-I, State of Texas versus Francisco Castano. Is Mr. Castano present?
Judge, he is, and I believe his camera's off, and I believe he needs an interpreter.
Okay, Ms. Castañeda, please ask Mr. Castano to turn on his camera and to unmute.
Mr. Castano, por favor, se anuncia. Prenda su cámara. Francisco Castano. Francisco Castano.
What is your announcement, Counselor?
Judge, we're gonna announce ready for a motion to suppress, and we are gonna ask for an in-person hearing, Your Honor.
Okay, go ahead and file an order resetting hearing stating that you want an in-person, and we're trying to get that figured out. I don't have a courtroom right now. So, and it's a big hassle to try to get all your staff into another borrowed courtroom, but we're gonna figure something out so that, because if it looks like it's gonna be too far out for these motions to suppress, we'll probably just borrow a courtroom and put you guys on from morning until the evening.
Okay, Your Honor.
Okay, no problem, Mr. Cavazos. Any other case?
Thank you, Judge. That's all I have. May I be excused?
Yes, and if you can get a hold of your client, I'll go ahead and count him.
I will. I'll text him right now.
Okay,
Thank you, Judge. Stay safe.
likewise. Attorney Tracy Evans?
Good morning, Judge. I have number 33 on the docket.
Okay. CR 1914672-I, State of Texas versus Ever Sebastian Martinez. Is Mr. Martinez present, ma'am?
Judge, I do not believe he is. If the court recalls at the last setting on this one, I had asked for a little time to be able to send him a letter. I did send him a letter. We as well text message to the last number that we had, the Zoom information. We have not heard from him, Judge.
Okay. And was the letter returned?
No, Judge.
Okay, and this was sent to his last known address?
Yes, and it was sent on August the 23rd, Judge.
Okay. Okay, then what I'll do is, I'll call him at the end of the docket. If by some chance he does come on, well, we'll let you know, but probably not, and we'll just have to take a nice eye out on him. So I'm not sure, I could set you up for another status, but if you're not reaching him, how are you gonna even know what the next step is, right?
Yes, Judge. And he had been in the local medical school here. So,
wow.
Yeah. So I know at the last hearing, before it had gotten transferred, he was not getting his driver's license. So he was admonished, asked to go get his driver's license. I believe he lives with his mom. His mom has called a few times when I've sent letters. So I emailed him too. I do have his email. So I really don't want him to get a nice eye, but he's not responding.
Right. Wow. So you sent him a letter, you texted him, and you emailed him?
Yes.
Wow. Well, that's due diligence. So, okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and give you some time, and let's see if you can track him down by November the 30th.
That's fine, Judge.
And that'll be at 9:30.
Okay. Thank you, Judge. I have nothing further. May I be excused?
You certainly may.
Thank you.
Attorney Mauricio Martinez?
Good morning, Judge. I've got, based on the email, it looks like I've got one on your docket, but Odyssey is indicating that I've got two, and I think one of them just didn't get printed out.
Okay.
The first one.
Go ahead.
You go, Judge.
I was going to say, well, let's start with the one you do know.
Okay, so it looks like number 4 on your docket is going to be set for a motion to suppress, but in reality, we're doing a plea this morning, Judge. Mr. Julio Adame, he's on the second page for me.
Okay, Julio Adame on CR 202920-I. Mr. Adame, are you present? Mr. Adame? I don't see him on my second screen either.
He was just there, Judge. It said Julio A, and now he's gone. I don't know if he accidentally closed the app, but I can go ahead and get him on the phone, and the court would be willing to recall that one.
Okay, so his plea, is his plea paperwork in?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Wind, are you showing that his plea paperwork was accepted?
Yes, Judge, this paperwork has been filed.
Okay, and what are the conditions?
It is a $100 fine, Judge, plus court costs, 30 days Hidalgo County Jail, probated for 4 months.
Okay, and anything else, CSR hours, any classes?
We had agreed to waive those, Judge.
Okay.
Now, Judge, I see him on the screen now. It says Julio A. I don't see the little microphone, so I don't know if he's connected to audio, but my staff is actually on the phone with him right now, telling him to fix that.
Okay, I do see a Julio A on. Yeah, tell him to connect to audio. So he's going to be a plea then, okay?
Yes,
And
ma'am.
then what's the other case you have while we're waiting for him to connect to audio?
I don't seem to find it on your docket, Judge. It was emailed to me, but the CR number is CR 20-07075I. This is an ADR that we've been working out with both Mr. Wynn and Miss Melissa back before she went off on her leave. The last thing he needs to do is take a defensive driving class, which he's scheduled to do so this weekend. He is on my screen as Jesus Cruz. He's wearing a light blue shirt with a bandana.
It's number 17, Your Honor.
Number what?
17?
Okay,
Oh.
I'm just blind. I apologize, Bianca.
It's okay. It's Mr. Flores' case. I don't think that you're listed.
Okay, so Jesus Alberto Cruz, CR 20-07075-I. Mr. Cruz, are you present?
Good morning, ma'am. Yes, I am.
Good morning. Okay, so then what is your announcement today? He's already on ADR, or he was approved?
He's been approved for an ADR, Judge. He's working on the last component, which is him taking a defensive driving class. My understanding is my staff reached out to him, and he has confirmed that he's taking that class this weekend.
Okay. Okay. Why don't we just set him up for October the 26th at 1:30?
Yes, ma'am, we'll do that.
And we'll see if everything got taken care of. Okay, Mr. Cruz, you are excused.
Thank you, ma'am. You have a good day.
Likewise. Okay, Mr. Adame, can you hear us now?
Judge, my staff's indicating that he's telling them that he's in the waiting room. I don't know if he fell out of the connection and waiting to jump back in.
Okay, it's been joining for a while.
Okay.
I let him back in, but either way, Mr. Martinez, since this is a plea and there are long admonishments, I'm going to continue with quick announcements. So I will recall you at the end of the docket, and it'll give him some time. It still hasn't joined.
Judge, that's perfect. And I was actually going to ask to be taken at the end. He is competent, Judge, but there may be a need to slow down the admonishments when we're taking his plea.
That's fine.
Thank
I'm
you,
very
ma'am.
patient.
May I be temporarily excused, Judge, for other courts?
Sure, you certainly may.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay. All right, Mr. Aguirre.
Good morning, Your Honor. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Thank you, sir. Yourself?
Oh, hanging in there.
Good. Did your kiddos go back, or are they still sharing your Wi-Fi bandwidth?
No, they're back. My wife's working from the house half the week, so she's stealing the bandwidth as well.
Okay, you're here on CR 20-04835-I, State of Texas versus Martin Jaime Sanchez. I do see Mr. Sanchez present. Okay, and what is your announcement, Counselor?
Your Honor, I did go to review the video at the District Attorney's Office. I did that, I believe, last week. I did receive this morning a recommendation on the case through email. I've not had an opportunity to discuss it with my client, so I would like an opportunity to do that. Right now, the way I'm looking at it, Judge, I think a motion to suppress is probably be the best route, especially if he's going to plead anyway. We've got nothing to lose. So,
Okay.
But I'll discuss that with him, Your Honor. I would ask for a short reset. If we do file a motion to suppress, I guess we'd get another setting.
Okay, and also, I believe the state has an announcement on this matter, Ms. Guarena?
Yes, Judge. So I was conducting some research on regarding any help with interpretation for the defendant. I did contact the Americans with Disabilities Act or information line, and they provided us with it's called the Southwest ADA Technical Assistance Center, where they could provide a oral interpreter, AURAL. How I understand is that the defendant does read lips. His mother speaks in Spanish and he does read her lips that way. So we could proceed with seeing if we can get an interpreter for this case.
Okay, so what we'll do, I've been thinking a lot about this case, Mr. Aguilar, since the last time, well, since each time that he's been coming, because it's very important and it's fundamental to Mr. Sanchez's constitutional right that he understands what is going on in the proceeding, whether it be in the motion to suppress hearing or whether it be later if he decides to take a plea. He needs to know what it is that he's pleading to, right? So if you do file the motion to suppress and we do file and you ask for an in-person, if that's what you're going to ask for, then I am recommending that if you're going to be using this service, that you all do a trial run where, because I believe these people can also do it via Zoom. The person is not local. So although I know you may want a motion to suppress in person, you may have to weigh the option.
Quite honestly, Your Honor, I'm as far as getting movement on these cases, we've been having successful motions to suppress remotely.
Okay, and so I would say that you all.
Bad police testimony doesn't make a difference if it's on video or in person, in my opinion, but that's just me.
Spoken like a true defense attorney, right? So I suggest that you all do a trial run with the person once that person is assigned so that you can be confident that your client understands the interpretation.
Absolutely.
And I believe they have another level of equipment that will allow them to do it also virtually, but also where he's able to see the lip. So, I mean, this is a first, obviously, for me and for you all. So,
Your Honor, if I may, we did use. I had a similar case in Austin where the gentleman did not speak. He didn't even speak Spanish. He spoke an indigenous language from Mexico, and he was deaf as well. What they did end up doing, he could read Spanish. He just didn't use it. So what they did was it was being transcribed for him.
Okay.
That worked to an extent, but because his reading ability was limited. But I'll discuss it with my client and his family as well, so we can gauge the ability.
Well, when you talk to him about the plea, the recommendation, and possibly moving forward with the motion to suppress, you can talk to them about what do they feel comfortable with as far as like, I mean, obviously his mom can't do the translating for him or the interpretation. So whatever they feel comfortable with, because we have to have it whenever the time comes on the record that he understands and that he's comfortable moving forward with it, because that'll protect his right and obviously it preserves the record. So anyway, but I'll give you all some time to continue to discuss it, how we can do that, and maybe you can do a trial run in the meantime. I'll set it for status. Now, remind me, does he have an alcohol apparatus?
I am
Yes,
not
does
certain.
have- I'm sorry. He does have the analog device with Intoxilab, Judge, and no violations.
Okay.
That's a second.
Okay, perfect. All right, well then I'm gonna give you some time so y'all can figure it out. And in the meantime, if you want to file your motion to suppress, indicate in your order setting hearing that it'll be virtual so that we know that those are obviously getting set first. But I'll have you all come back. Would November 2nd be enough time?
That should be, Your Honor.
Okay, November 2nd at 9:30. I think Ms. Castañeda, can you please tell his mom in Spanish that Mr. Aguirre will contact him later and that he's to return on November 2nd at 9:30.
Para Jaime Sánchez, Martín Jaime Sánchez, la próxima corte es el 2 de noviembre a las 9:30 de la mañana.
And let him know that Mr. Aguirre will be contacting them at some point to talk to them about the case.
I'll ask them to set up an appointment today, or I'll have our office call and set up an appointment today.
Okay.
Le va a hablar el abogado para ponerle una cita.
Okay, let them know they're excused.
Se puede retirar.
Okay, and what other case, Mr. Aguirre?
Your Honor, I have number 18 on the court's docket, Sara Cruz.
Okay, CR 21-04390-I. I did see Ms. Cruz present.
Yes, Your Honor, she's actually in our lobby.
Okay.
Your Honor, this client, she's had issues as far as being able to use a phone, get a phone. She's had to borrow stuff. She was a no-show at the last court setting. However, she called us the very next day. It's like, I've tried to get logged in, trying to go, but I just didn't have a phone or immediate access to one. And she called us actually, I think it was that same afternoon. And we asked the court to go ahead and set it back on the calendar.
Okay, and we recalled that. Is that correct?
I believe so.
Okay. Okay, so what do you want to do on this case?
I need a recommendation from the state. I also need to see what happened to the co-defendant. I don't see a charge on that co-defendant, so it might actually be a felony. I know the co-defendant has a prior felony theft that was enhanced from misdemeanor.
Okay.
So I'm not sure, Your Honor, where it's going to wind up.
If you want a recommendation, just go ahead and email the state and they'll email you the recommendation. And how much time are you requesting?
Not very much, Your Honor. I would just say a couple weeks.
Well, the first setting I have is October 28th
That will be fine, Your Honor.
at 9:30. Okay, Ms. Cruz, October 28th at 9:30.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else?
Yes, Your Honor. I have numbers 47 and 48 on the court's docket is the status for Mr. Torres.
Okay, I was just about to say she's excused, but she already disappeared. Okay.
Mr. Torres, remove your hat, please.
Okay, CR 1815887-I, CR 210087-I, State of Texas versus Luis Daniel Torres. Mr. Torres, are you present? Please unmute.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and what is your announcement, Counselor?
Your Honor, the last court setting, you wanted him to get a device, to have a device.
Okay, Ms. Soto, are we showing that Mr. Torres did obtain the device?
Judge, with him, he's the one that was on lockup, Judge, and with Intoxilock. And I'm not sure if he obtained it or not, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Torres, you were ordered to reactivate your device by September 3rd. Did you reactivate the device, sir?
Yes, Your Honor. It's
Okay.
activated.
When did
I'm trying to open up our files, Your Honor. I'm sorry, because I believe he gave us proof of that. It should be scanned in our system. I'm just having a hard time opening it here.
Okay, so do you recall what date you reactivated it by, sir?
It was the day before yesterday.
On the 7th?
Yes.
Is there a reason why you didn't get it done by the 3rd when I asked you to or ordered you to?
It's because I didn't have the money. I barely got the money on Tuesday.
Okay.
And Your Honor, I'm seeing on our notes that is the case. Our assistant had talked with him earlier that he was trying to gather the money for it.
Okay, so then he just activated that, so it'll be, for me to get a good report on whether he's using the device properly, it's gonna be about 30 days or so. So I'm gonna have him come back on October the 28th.
Yes, Your Honor. Actually, I believe, Your Honor, we're scheduled for a motion to suppress and a 7:05 hearing on 10/21, if I'm
Okay,
not mistaken.
well then we'll go ahead, we'll keep that setting and then we'll see what happens with that.
Yes,
So
Your
I'm
Honor.
just gonna put him on October 28th at 9:30 for the status, just in case. Now, and what about on the assault? Do they, has the state had contact with the alleged victim?
I believe they have.
Yes, Judge, we have, Judge.
And what do they say? Are they still going forward?
She currently unsure about whether she wants to press charges or not, Judge. You just want the defendant to take an anger management course, so we will recommend an ADR for that one.
Okay, Mr. Aguilar, I can give you some time to speak to the state about that.
That's fine, Your Honor. It's the assault charge. I mean, if it needs to be tried, it'll be tried. But the DWI is one that I'm, in this particular case, is the one I'm most concerned about.
Okay.
It is a second, and that's why, I mean, we're asking for a motion to suppress in the 7:05 hearing. At the last court setting, you had asked us to submit an order for the 7:05 hearing. I think we did that back in June, but just out of abundance of caution, we went ahead and resubmitted it. And would
Okay.
ask that it's going to cover the same ground as the motion to suppress.
Okay,
A
I'll
lot of
have
the same
Ms.
ground.
I'll have Ms. Rivera look to see if it's been forwarded to IQ, so it's set at the same time. Okay,
Yes, Your Honor. Just so we're clear, we're keeping the 10/21 hearing?
yes.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go ahead and keep these together on October the 28th at 9:30 if necessary.
Okay, perfect.
Okay,
And that's all I have, Your Honor.
okay, well then you and your client are excused. Oh, Mr. Torres, can I get a phone number for you, sir?
You're on mute, sir.
Oh, it's nine. Yes, Your Honor. It's 956-478-1034.
Okay, we will be running a report on you in about 30 days. Make sure that you know exactly when you should be blowing into that device so that you have no violations, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have any questions, you can contact your probation officer and she'll return your call at her earliest convenience.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Torres, you are excused.
And Your Honor, that's all the business I have before this honorable court. May I be excused?
You certainly may.
And Your Honor, when Mr. Mauricio Martinez comes back, please suggest he wears a tie. Let's see y'all later. Y'all have a good day.
Hey, but I'm bummed, right? Okay, Attorney Daniel Sorrell.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning.
Judge, I'm sending in for Artemio de la Fuente on number 40 on the court's docket.
Okay, that's CR 21-00467-I, State of Texas versus Mario Alberto Ochoa. Is Mr. Ochoa present?
Judge, I do see.
Mr. Ochoa, can you please turn your video on, sir? Okay, and what is your announcement, counselor?
Judge, I believe he is set for an arraignment today. This is one that got reset. I believe NISI was granted but not signed towards the end of August. So we'd be asking that not be signed, Judge.
I have him down for a status conference. Ms. Rivera, have we already arraigned Mr. Ochoa or a waiver been filed on his behalf?
Judge, I'm showing a waiver was signed back in March of 2021.
Okay, so he's already been arraigned or he submitted a waiver of arraignments. So we're here on a status because I needed to know what are we going to do on this case?
Perfect, Judge. We're just asking for some more time. We're still going over the evidence and we'll be going over it with Mr. Ochoa to see where he wants to go next on this case. If we want to set it up for a suppression or if he wants to try to work something out, Judge. So we're just
This is a racing on highway. I don't know exactly how much evidence there's going to be on a racing on highway, Mr. Sorrells. And also I've been pending knowing what we're going to do with this since March. So I need something to be done on this. And so I'll go ahead and recall his NISI. I won't sign off on it because he's here today, but I need to know what we're going to do with this. So I'm sure between March and now, the discovery has already been reviewed.
I would
So-
imagine so, Judge, yes.
I mean, I know you're pinch hitting today, but I'm gonna reset. Go ahead.
Judge, there's also a felony intake for him.
Oh, okay. Well, there's where he's gonna buy some time. So he has a felony at intake right now, Mr. Sorrells. You may let Mr. Solis know that. He's probably not aware.
Well, actually, I do see it on my notes here, Judge. I just had my screen partially covered by the Zoom. So yes, we are aware of the pending felony.
Did that felony arise out of this racing on highway stop?
No, Judge.
It's separate?
It's different, Judge.
Okay. November 30th at 9:30. And let's see if the felony's been indicted. I'm assuming he's going to want to see what happens with that first before he does anything on the misdemeanor.
I would imagine so, yes, Judge.
Okay. All right, Mr. Ochoa, we'll see you back here on November 30th at 9:30. Stay in close contact with your attorney, sir.
Okay.
All right, next case.
Judge, I have number 27.
Okay. CR 20-05742-I, State of Texas versus Tomas Enriquez. Is Mr. Enriquez present? Mr. Enriquez? Mr. Damian, please call out that name 3 times.
Yes, ma'am. Tomas Picon Enriquez. Tomas Enriquez. Tomas Enriquez.
Okay, your client has until the end of the docket to come on, or I will issue an eyesight. But in the meantime, can the state give me an update as to whether or not the alleged victim signed the A&P?
Judge, we will not be moving forward the A&P because we have disturbing images of the defendant's injury.
I'm here. Ma'am, I'm here.
Mr. Enriquez is here, Judge. I
Okay,
thought that
hold
looked like
on.
him.
Mr. Enriquez, can you announce yourself again?
I'm here.
Okay. Okay, so then they're not going to be moving forward with the A&P. They're going to continue to prosecute this case. So I'll give Mr. Whose case is this? Because I have somebody else for this.
Yes, Judge, we got retained on the case and had filed a motion to substitute, but I do not believe the order has been filed yet, Judge.
Okay, when did you file your motion to substitute?
Let me see, I thought I saw it on here. I believe yesterday, Judge, September 8th. So very recently, Judge.
Okay, so then I'll ask for the order granting to be forwarded to my queue. Your substitution will be granted.
Perfect, Judge.
Okay, and then I'll give you some time to familiarize yourself with the case. Are you going to want a recommendation on this case, Mr. Sorrells?
Yes, if the state has one already.
Okay, go ahead and email the state to get a recommendation and they'll send that to you. So I'm gonna give you some time and I'll have you come back on that one on November the 4th at 9:30.
Perfect, Judge.
Okay, anything else?
I believe that's all I have, Judge.
Okay, you and your client are excused.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay,
Thank you,
Attorney,
Judge.
yes, sir. Attorney Robert Capello?
Good morning, Your Honor. I have number 42 on the court's criminal docket.
Okay. CR 19-14702-I, State of Texas versus Jessica Perez. Is Ms. Perez present?
She should be, Judge. She's been texting back and forth that she's on.
Okay, just raise your volume, Ms. Perez. I see you. Can you hear me? Okay, that's what's important. All right, Mr. Capello, you can proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. On this case, it's involving an assault on a family member. The alleged victim is the defendant's either common law husband or husband. He is scheduled to meet with the district attorney's office next week to sign an affidavit of non-prosecution. And I'm also waiting on evidence, Judge. We filed our Morton motion on 9/2/20. So that's the two things that I have before the court today, is that we're waiting on evidence, and two, the alleged victim, who is the defendant's common law husband or husband by marriage, is trying to it has a meeting next week with the district attorney's office misdemeanor section to file an affidavit on prosecution. And they're still the judge.
Okay, Mr. Nguyen, are you showing that the alleged victim is scheduled to come in and sign an A and P?
Yes, Judge, the defendant, the victim is scheduled to come in to do an A&P next week, Judge, on the 16th.
Okay,
And as far as discovery concerned, Judge, we saw discovery was sent on September 11th of last year.
okay. So do you need that resent to you, Mr. Capello?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm sorry, Judge. We did send it on last year. I don't know what, yeah, okay, I remember this case. It was originally a County Court 6 case. I'm sorry, Judge. That's the confusion. It probably went to the County Court 6 attorneys. If Mr. Nguyen could send me that information, we certainly would appreciate it, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Nguyen, can you send that discovery again to Mr. Capello, please?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, so then I'm gonna go ahead and I'll give him some time to go in. The earliest I have is October the 28th.
October the 28th, Your Honor. Let me see where I'm at there. I'm
And
fine.
then, okay, so Mr. Nguyen, would you be bringing in the alleged victim for victim testimony?
Yes, Judge.
Okay.
But meanwhile, I'm sorry, Judge.
It's okay. I was gonna say, just let him know when he goes in to come in to make sure to make himself available on October 28th at 9:30.
Meanwhile, Judge, if the defendant could, start taking the anger management course required for the dismissal.
Okay. So, Mr. Capello, in the meantime, if your client can begin the anger management course that is required for the dismissal, you can contact the state for that information so that you can get her started on the program.
Would that be with the probation department, Judge, or with Mr. Nguyen's office?
Mr. Nguyen, where can Mr. Capello get that information from?
He could contact the probation office for the vendor, the organization for provider anger management course.
Do you have Ms. Soto's number?
No, I do not, Judge.
Okay, Ms. Soto, will you please give Mr. Capello your phone number, please?
Yes, Judge, it's 956-587-6084.
6084. Thank you, Ms. Soto.
Thank you.
Okay, that way she can get started on those courses, because if it's the same one that some other people have been taking, there's a wait list.
There is, Your Honor. There is.
Okay, so anything else on this?
No further business before this honorable court, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes, you and Ms. Bettis may be excused.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay,
Judge,
thank you.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Mr. Solozano, please sit up straight or turn your camera off, sir. Thank you.
Okay, Attorney Ted Lopez.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning, sir.
Your Honor, I have it written down right now. Police number 11, CR-17-07017-I.
Okay, State of Texas versus Danny Cardenas Aguilar. Is Mr. Aguilar present?
No, Judge, I don't see him. I did send an email yesterday. I did send him some text messages. We were here, I believe, on the 31st. I had emailed him. I had emailed him late. He wasn't present, Judge. The court was gracious enough to allow him to appear today. I haven't seen him, Your Honor. I don't know if I could have another opportunity, but I do have open communication with him, or I've had it in the past.
Okay, well, because I gave you an opportunity to contact him and he's had notice for this hearing today, I'm gonna, if he doesn't show up by the end of the docket, I'm gonna have to issue a NISR.
Yes, Your Honor.
And then if you do reach him, just contact us for us to recall it so that I don't sign it.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, anything else?
Nothing further, Judge. May I be excused?
You certainly may, sir. Okay, Attorney Dan Mora. Mr. Mora? Dan? Okay, Attorney Sergio Munoz?
Yes, Judge, I'm here on number 15 on your docket, Your Honor, CR 19-147-681, Edgar Cantu.
Okay, and is Mr. Cantu present?
Yes, Judge, he's there at the, I guess he's sitting across from me in the conference room, but I'm gonna
Okay.
have him unmute his device, Judge.
I see him, it's fine. Is he English speaking or Spanish speaking?
English speaking, Judge, and he's here in the conference room with me, Your Honor.
Okay, so now Ms. Soto does have a report on him for his alcohol monitoring device. Ms. Soto, can I get that, please?
Yes, Judge. His report for the past month, Judge, he had 40 missed tests and 12 late tests. I did speak to him yesterday, Judge, regarding why he's been missing. He did advise me as to why, and I did forward that information to the court.
Okay, what is he stating that he's missed? Why is he missing or being late?
He advised me that his mom passed away and he had been dealing with the funeral arrangements, and he was not able to test at that moment, due to that reason, Judge.
Judge, and not by way of an excuse, Judge, just by way of explanation. His mom just passed away on Saturday, and I think she had been dealing with COVID-related issues for about a week. I did advise that of I did tell Mr. Cantu, and I think I did also make sure that he did get in touch with Ms. Soto, so that way they can clear those issues, but also to understand the severity of making sure that he complies with the court's requirements and orders.
Okay. Mr. Cantu, I know that you find yourself in a very unusual situation, and I'm sorry for your loss, sir. I'm going to give you an opportunity to redeem yourself because I know that it had to have been a very difficult time for you. So I'm going to go ahead and reset you to October the 28th at 9:30, at which time I'm going to get another test, another report, which is about for 6 weeks, okay? So I need for you, if you don't understand your time frames that you're testing, to please go over those with Ms. Soto. If those time frames don't work because of your work schedule, Ms. Soto will we require, and she'll accept on our behalf a copy of your work schedule as to why you wouldn't be able to test at those times. If that's not the issue, then you need to get back on track, okay? And I know it's hard after you lose a loved one. I mean, this is probably the last thing that you're thinking about, but unfortunately your freedom counts on it. And I'm sure your attorney has discussed that with you. So Mr. Cantu, if you can give me your phone number, sir?
956-867-2367.
Okay. Okay. All right. So we'll have him come back, Mr. Munoz, on October the 28th at 9:30, at which time we'll run another report on him and see how he's doing.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Anything else?
Nothing further, Judge. May we excuse?
You certainly may, and so may your client.
Thank you, Judge. You'll have a good day.
Okay. Mr. Mora, can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Sorry about that. I had County Court 2 on and
Okay, no problem. Okay, what number are you here on?
the first one that I do have a number for is number 46.
Okay, that is CR 20-06134-I, State of Texas versus Roman Solorzano. I do see Mr. Solorzano on. And what is your announcement, Counselor?
Judge, I believe the state at this point, the last time we were here, we had a short reset. They were going to see if they would make contact with the victim on this matter.
Okay, Mr. Wind?
Yes, Judge, we were able to make contact with the victim, and she does want to drop the cases, but she's currently in the state right now, Judge, and she won't be back until November. And we have her scheduled for A&P in November, so that's the situation, Judge.
Okay, so she's scheduled to come in and sign the A&P on November what?
November 12th, Judge.
Okay. Okay. Then you all will come back on November the 16th at 9:30. Let her know that she needs to make herself available for victim testimony.
Yes, Judge.
In the meantime, for those kind of charges, for a dismissal to be approved, Mr. Mora, he will have to take the anger management course. So if you want to contact Ms. Soto at 956-587-6084, so he can get started on those anger management courses, because there is a wait list.
Judge, and I was gonna ask, are those online or something? Because my client's in Oklahoma.
Oh, you know what? Talk to her about getting something comparable, or with the state, what they'll accept, because I'm sure there's something in his area. Because they're not on, I don't think they're online. I think they're meeting once a week in person.
Okay. And
So that's not gonna work for him.
Right.
But we can work with something that will work with him to satisfy the requirements by the DA's office.
I will get with Ms. Soto.
Okay, and that way you all can also talk to the state in case he'll need some modifications. All right, anything else on that case?
Not on that one, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Solorzano, we'll see you back here on November 16th at 9:30, sir. You are excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, what other case, Mr. Mora?
Judge, I don't believe this is on the docket. We called in, it's on an ISI. It's Edgar Alonso Estrada, CR
Yeah.
20-00566G.
Okay, it's number 28 on the court's docket. It's an I case now. And
I'm
so
sorry, I'm sorry.
it's okay. So is Mr. Estrada present?
I know I had given him the Zoom information. I don't know if
Is that him under Cricket?
that's him.
Okay. Is he English speaking or Spanish speaking?
Spanish speaking.
Okay, Ms. Castañeda, can you please ask Mr. Estrada to announce himself?
Mr. Estrada, ¿se puede anunciar?
Aquí estoy, Miss.
Okay, ask him if he can hear us.
¿Nos escucha?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so the court will recall the NISI. And what are we going to do with this case, Mr. Mora?
Judge, this is gonna have to be a trial.
Okay. Ms. Soto, do we have any reports on Mr. Estrada for an alcohol device?
Yes, Judge, he does have his mobile device with safety check, Judge, and the report for the past month did have 13 missed tests and 2 late tests.
Okay, Ms. Castañeda, let him know that his report for the last 30 days is showing that he has 13 missed tests and 2 late tests.
Mr. Estrada, el reporte de su dispositivo tiene que tiene 13 pruebas perdidas y 2 tarde.
Sí, es que le digo le dije a mi Soto que me había agarrado un trabajo en un restaurante.
I told Ms. Soto that I got a job at a restaurant.
Okay, tell him that this is his first warning, and that he needs to get his schedule to Ms. Soto so that they can figure out time frames that he can test realistically.
Okay, esta va a ser su primera advertencia. Tiene que agarrar su horario de trabajo y reportárselo a Ms. Soto.
Ok, sí.
Okay, yes.
And ask him for his phone number, please.
¿Qué es su número de teléfono?
956-510-0482.
956-510-0482.
Okay, let him know that Ms. Soto's tied up in docket for most of today, but at her earliest convenience, she will contact him to discuss his testing timeframes.
Ms. Soto va a estar ocupada hoy con los cortes, pero nada más que tenga una oportunidad le va a hablar para trabajar con su horario.
Pues sí, pues estoy buscando otro trabajo, Miss, porque
I'm
ese...
looking for another job.
He needs to get steady because I have to monitor his testing.
Que necesita estar firme porque necesito estar checando su reporte.
Sí, Miss, sí.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Ms. Soto, just discuss with him that it's important, please, that he gets some kind of firm schedule, but that if he is going to be changing jobs, he needs to be turning in a schedule to you each time he turns it in. And I know it may be difficult to change the testing time so often, but I mean, I'm not sure what else can be done at this time, because I don't want to punish him unless I really have to punish him for not following a realistic testing time frame.
Will do, Judge.
Okay, I appreciate it. Okay, Mr. Mora, any other case?
No, ma'am, that's all.
Okay, sir, then you and your client are excused.
Thank you.
Okay, Attorney Daniel Gonzalez.
Yes, Your Honor. How you doing, Your Honor?
Good morning, sir. What number?
Yes, Your Honor. Number 16, Your Honor.
Okay, CR 19-14016-I, State of Texas versus Carolina Chavez. Is Ms. Chavez present?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm
I
here.
believe I saw her.
Okay, and what is your announcement, counselor?
Your Honor, we're actually, I met with Ms. Gatto yesterday. We signed up some plea paperwork. Respectfully, we're asking if we can maybe come back this afternoon, Your Honor, to finalize the plea, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Soto, are we still showing that Ms. Chavez has been in violation of her AIP condition?
Judge, she did. She failed to report for the month of August to AIP, Judge, and also she has failed to activate the mobile device. You ordered for her to obtain her device's safety check. I did reach out to Safety Check, and she did reach out to them, Judge, and they offered to reactivate her for $120. I'm not sure if she has since the time that I spoke to her, Judge. I do know that she also spoke to Ms. Trejo about employment, and Ms. Trejo is going to forward her resume to several employers.
And yes, Your Honor, right now, if I may, she is actually looking for jobs, and I think that's one of the issues why she hasn't activated her device. But Your Honor, again, we do seek to maybe have a plea this afternoon, if we may.
But even as part of the plea, they're going to require her to be on a mobile device.
Yes, Your Honor, and I think Ms. Gatto does understand that. I have, discussed that with her, that is basically a possibility. But
Ms. Chavez, I ordered you to get that device a while back, ma'am. So have you gotten that device yet?
I got a hold of AJ, and he asked me that before I get the device, I need to pay balance I had with him. So I'm working with him with my next payment that I have, and that's when I'm getting my device, because I'm paying the whole balance plus the $80 that he's requesting for him as a monthly fee.
Okay, Mr. Gonzalez, I'm not going to accept her plea until she gets that device, because she's going to need it as part of that plea. And I need to know she's going to get it, because if not, as soon as she gets on the probation, she's already going to be in violation, because I require that those devices be obtained within 48 hours of the time they're placed on probation. So if I place her on probation this afternoon and accept her plea, she only has 48 hours to get that device. So unless she's going to tell me that she's getting that device in 48 hours, and she's putting that on the record, I can't accept her plea. Well, I can, but I won't accept her plea. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor, understood. I guess
So
we may have a reset then.
Ms. Chavez, are you able to obtain that device within 2 days?
I can try, ma'am.
The thing is, Ms. Chavez, is that you can't, everybody has money problems. Everyone that is sitting in your situation right now has money problems, because it's not cheap to get a DWI. But yet, when I order something, the majority of the people are getting the device when they're ordered to get it. You're actually one of the exceptions. It's very rare in our court when a defendant won't get the device, and I understand. But you have to understand that your freedom depends on this.
I understand.
The rest of your life. So I don't know if you need to talk to family members. I know that you already, have you submitted your resume to Ms. Trejo?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So then if Ms. Trejo says that she's going to get that resume out, she's going to get that resume out, and hopefully you do become employed very soon in the near future. But, you know, you have probation fees that are going to be assessed against you this afternoon. You have a fine that's going to be assessed against you this afternoon. You have court costs that will be assessed against you this afternoon. You will have a requirement to obtain a device within 48 hours. So you see, if I were you, all I'm hearing is dollar signs, dollar signs, dollar signs. And you're responsible to start paying for that. So if you can't get this device, then accepting your plea, all I'm gonna do is set you up for failure. But I need you to get on this device, because if not, then every person that comes in front of me that says they can't afford it, and I'm gonna give them time. And in the meantime, Ms. Chavez, what happens if you get behind the wheel again and you're intoxicated? And I haven't done anything to have stopped you.
Trust me.
I understand. You may say that you'll never do it again, and I hope you won't. But there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee whatsoever, because we have something called free will. And a lot of us do not have willpower. We're human. So although I know in your heart you don't want to get behind the wheel ever while you're under the influence, and I pray that you don't, you never know in a moment of weakness if you do something. And then you do that and you go out and hurt yourself or somebody in the community. Guess who's going to be in the news alongside with you? Me. And I have to protect not only the community, but I have to protect my integrity as well on this bench. And I hear you. I understand. And I empathize with you that you are in this financial situation. But if you have a cell phone, then you have money to pay something. If you've been doing your hair, you have money to do something. I'm just saying, I'm not saying that's you. What I'm saying is that you need to prioritize where this money is going to come from. Because you're right now in a situation where you've got 1 foot out that door to try to close this chapter. 1 foot, so that you can move on with the rest of your life. But if you cannot get the money together to get this device within the next 2 days, then I'm going to be signing you up for failure.
Okay.
So the only thing I can tell you is, if you can tell me right now that you're going to obtain that device within 48 hours of today's date, I will allow you on my plea docket this afternoon.
Okay.
Are you saying you will be getting it within 48 hours?
I will. Yes.
No, there's no maybe, there's nothing. If you plea this afternoon, it is the court's order that you will obtain it within 48 hours. And although it's a very rare the case that I do it, I will make sure to make a note to have somebody check whether or not you have obtained that device now. And if you haven't already, I can ask for your probation to be revoked. And that's jail time.
Okay. That's fine. I will get it today.
Okay. Mr. Gonzalez, she's saying she'll obtain the device within 48 hours. I'll go ahead and set you on my plea docket, sir, at 1:30.
Judge, if I may?
Yes.
Judge, I haven't got the paperwork back from defense attorney yet.
Your Honor, I was going to send it actually just now. I just wanted to make sure that we're going to be set for this afternoon.
Make sure that it's sent immediately so that it can be accepted and reviewed by the state.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and have my staff send you the link for the 1:30 docket so that you can share it with Ms. Chavez.
Sounds good, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Chavez, we'll see you back here at 1:30 p.m.
Okay, thank you.
You are temporarily excused. Let me just make one more quick announcement. Mr. Morales, your client just logged on.
Yes, Judge.
Okay, the state of Texas versus Jennifer Lee Cuellar, that's on CR 18-0179-I, CR 19-02189-I, CR 18-16196-I, CR 18-12216-I, CR 17-11998-I, CR 17-08793-I, CR 17-06335-I, CR 17-01149-I. The state of Texas versus Jennifer Lee Cuellar. Okay, Mr. Morales, Ms. Cuellar is present. What is your announcement, Counselor?
Judge, last time I announced that I needed to speak to the DAs to see what we can work out on this. I have not been able to, I haven't had a chance to talk to the DAs on this case, Judge. As you can see, all these cases pretty much stem from a custody battle that is still going on. It's going on for the last about 3 years, Judge. And we're still in that case, and it's out of the 93rd District Court. And but I believe that we'll be able to work something out. I'm trying to do something for her where maybe she pleads to just one case and maybe they'll dismiss the rest. They're all pretty much the same thing. Or she would, and so I'm asking the court for some more time. I think realistically, Judge, I would want to talk to one of the DAs. I've been trying to talk to him in person, Judge, because we really need to go over this case and see what's really behind all of this, Judge. There's a lot of, it's really, I don't want to go into the facts, but it's just pretty much the same thing on each of these cases.
Okay, Ms. Saldana, is this your case?
Yes, Judge, it is, and that's correct with Mr. Morales. I've attempted to get in contact with him, but for whatever reason, schedules and stuff, we haven't been able to sit down and talk about this particular case. So I would have no objection to resetting this case as well, Judge, and that way I could also speak with the victim too.
Okay. The only issue I have is that I thought that over the course of the last 5 months, since the first time that I heard this case, something would have been done even as far as communication.
Judge, I don't mean to interrupt you, Judge, but boy, it's just been so hard, and it's not the DA's fault, and it's just so hard. It's just so different to be working under these conditions. Before, we'd talk when we'd run into each other. I just walk into a court, talk to the DAs, and it was just so easy to get things done. And it's just a little bit more difficult right now, actually. Pretty tough to move cases right now for me, at least.
Okay, so then I want some type of resolution or something by the next time that we come forward on this case. So I'm gonna set this for November the 4th, and that should be plenty of time at 9:30.
Okay. All right. And ma'am, the assistant DA, ma'am, let me give you my cell phone number. You can call me directly or text me.
Mr. Morales, are you okay with that being on YouTube?
Yeah, I have it on my business card.
Oh, okay.
I'm all right. It's 956-330-3944.
Okay, I will send you a message. Thank you so much.
All right. No problem. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, we'll see you on November the 4th at 9:30.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Ms. Cuellar, you're excused. Okay, Mr. Martinez, are we ready on your client then?
Yes, ma'am. I see Mr. Julio Dame on the screen. He's got a little microphone icon, so I think he can hear us. I think he just has to unmute.
Okay, can you unmute, sir?
Hello.
Hi. Okay, can you please raise your right hand? Can you please raise your right hand? Do you swear that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, sir?
Yes.
Okay, you can lower your hand. In cause number CR 20-02920-I, the state of Texas versus Julio Alberto Adame, is that your true and correct name, sir?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Adame, you are before the court charged with possession of marijuana of less than 2 ounces, and which is a Class B misdemeanor. The Class B misdemeanors carry a potential penalty of up to 6 months in Hidalgo County Jail and up to a $2,000 fine upon conviction. Do you understand that range of punishment, sir?
Yes.
Okay, and that's only upon conviction, okay? So you have a right to an attorney and a right to a trial by jury. You can waive one or both of those rights by signing a written document with the court. Did you have an opportunity to review that document with your attorney, sir, before signing it?
Yes.
Okay. And did you understand when you signed that document that you would be waiving your right to a trial by jury?
Yes.
Okay. So the court will accept your waiver of a trial by jury. Mr. Adame, has any court ever declared you to be mentally incompetent, crazy, or insane?
No.
Okay. And Mr. Martinez, in speaking with your client, do you find him to be mentally competent and able to assist you in his own defense?
I do, Judge, but would the court allow me to make a brief record to Mr. Adame?
Yes.
Mr. Adame, do you remember me going over all the pages in the plea paperwork in front of you via Zoom?
Yes.
And you and I talked about all of your rights and everything that you were signing, and I explained page by page with you there, my legal assistant there, and your grandmother there, correct?
Yep. Yes.
Okay, so you understand that the plea here today is what we are doing instead of the motion to suppress, and you didn't have any questions back then, and you understood that it was a 4-month probation.
Yes.
Okay. Judge, yeah, I find him competent. I do now and at the time of the signing.
Okay. The court will make a finding that Mr. Adame is competent and able to assist his attorney in his own defense. Now, Mr. Adame, do you understand that if I give a punishment that's not more than what the state is recommending for you, you will need the court's permission to file an appeal?
Okay.
Okay, sir. Now, do you understand that I don't have to accept the recommendation?
Yes.
Okay. Are you a U.S. citizen, sir?
Yes.
Okay. In CR 20-02920-I in the state of Texas versus Julio Alberto Adame to the offense of possession of marijuana of less than 2 ounces, a Class B misdemeanor, sir. How do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
And are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
The court will accept your plea as being freely and voluntarily given. I will call for state's evidence at this time.
State offer plea document and offense report of State Exhibit 1, notification and certification of defendant right of appeal of State Exhibit 2, waiver of Article 39.14 disclosure of State Exhibit 3, waiver of risk and needs assessment of State Exhibit 4. State would also request defense counsel to stipulate to the venue and jurisdiction of this honorable court, and to stipulate that the evidence has been e-filed is sufficient to incorporate a plea guilty.
Okay, any objections, counselor?
Judge, no objections, so agree and stipulated as to both the facts and to all the exhibits.
Then the court will make a finding that all of the that Mr. Adame has entered his plea of guilty freely and voluntarily, and also that no objections from the defense counsel as to the exhibits. So the exhibits are hereby admitted and approved. Mr. Adame, we're moving on to what's called the sentencing phase, okay?
Okay.
So in the sentencing phase, all I'm going to do is pronounce you guilty, and the state is going to give me what the recommendation is that
Okay.
you agree to, okay? So in CR 20-02920-I, the state of Texas versus Julio Alberto Adame, it is a judgment of the court that you are guilty as charged. And what is the state's recommendation?
Judge, the state recommend $100 fine, court costs, 30 days in Dollar County jail, probate for 4 months.
Okay. And any questions or requests on behalf of your client, Mr. Martinez?
Just ask that the court accept the recommendation of the state.
Okay. Then the court will accept the state's recommendation. I'm going to give you, Mr. Adame, 90 days to pay the fine and 90 days to pay the court costs, okay? And the rest of the recommendation I'm going to follow. Now, Mr. Adame, is there a phone number for you?
Judge, if I may, I can read into the record the phone number that we have on file for him.
Okay, please do.
Okay, then its number is 956-400-1679.
Okay.
And for purposes of probation, I think it'd be helpful to have his grandmother's phone number as a point of contact as well, which is 956-271-3047. She has been a point of contact for our office to facilitate communication.
Okay, Ms. Soto has those numbers. Okay, Mr. Adame, Ms. Soto is your probation officer and she will be contacting you at her earliest convenience because she does have a docket this afternoon, okay?
Okay.
Just make sure you answer the phone when they call, okay?
Yes.
Okay, well, best of luck to you, Mr. Adame, and you are now excused. Mr. Martinez, if you
Okay,
can.
thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so number 2 on the court's docket and number 3, motions for continuance were filed, or what is the status on those?
Judge, it was filed on number 2, not on number 3. Ms. Garza did advise the court that she would be filing them. One of her defendants does have COVID, and the other, I'm not sure what's going on, but they were set in person. However, given our circumstance with the court, Judge, we advise that they would be taken under your advisement.
Okay, so we're resetting number 2 was in person, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And number 3 was also going to be in person?
The settings that we had for today, yes, ma'am, were in person.
Okay, so then we'll go ahead and get those reset. Okay. Number 6, 7, and 8, any calls?
I spoke to Mr. Sanchez's office last week, Judge. And I spoke to his assistant, Woody. He should be submitting them with approval of Mr. Sanchez. For 7 and 8, they'll be filed this afternoon. I spoke to Mr. Sahadi this morning.
Okay, perfect. 13, 14?
I don't have an announcement on this one, Judge. And I don't believe anybody called as well.
Okay. Let me just mark that for nice eye.
Judge, I don't know if Mr. Mauricio needs to be excused.
No, I want him to stay on.
Oh, okay, okay.
I asked him to stay on. Number 31 and 32?
31 and 32, Your Honor. 31, Judge, was reset earlier in the morning yesterday night.
Okay, what's the new date?
It is the 19th of October.
Okay.
32, I don't have a reset date, Judge, and I don't believe he made contact with our court.
Okay, so nobody called in?
That's correct.
And what about 35 through 39?
35 through 39, Your Honor. There was a future setting of September the 30th, so it might have been just a miscommunication. I'll reset all of those cases for the 30th.
Okay. They're 41?
Judge, I didn't receive anything, but I did notice in that case itself, there is an order granting a withdrawal. I believe that Mr. Greehey did make the announcement previously that he had no contact with his defendant.
Okay, so he withdrew, and was he appointed or retained?
He was appointed, Your Honor.
Okay, we need to appoint the next person on the wheel and notify him of the new status date.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Mr. Martinez, do you have a minute to wait for the court?
Always, Judge.
Okay. All right, then let's go, Mr. Damian, over the nice size. I have number 11, number 12, number 32, and that's it. And if you can call out each of those defendants' names 3 times, please.
Yes, sir. Danny Cardenas Aguilar, Danny Aguilar, Danny Aguilar. Arturo Burgos Jr., Arturo Burgos, Arturo Burgos. Adam Reyes Lopez, Adam Lopez, Adam Lopez. Ever Sebastian Martinez, Ever Martinez, Ever Martinez. All of them.
Okay, those defendants' names being called out 3 times and being a no-show after proper notice was given, what says the state?
State requests that judgment not shall be granted if you could issue an all bond forfeit for all no-show defense.
Okay, that'll be granted. Anything else before we go off the record? Okay,